You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Bring it. Love this stuff.
This. We're live everywhere.
Yes.
Did we get? No, we don't got TikTok back yet.
We do not have TikTok back. But hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. Hello,
Hey,
Instagram.
still happy to see you all on the other live.
You film behind the scenes at one South by Southwest event, and all of a sudden you're banned for life.
Yeah.
Banned for life. Oof.
What is this? What I'm seeing on the side here? Oh, that's me.
That's you.
This is our map.
It's a map of the world. That's where we're
Other places we've been to.
Wait, that's not the world. Sorry.
No.
Sorry, that's a map of the U.S. It's not the world. Sorry.
I cannot believe you just said that.
Well, it was just
politics. American politics is getting to you.
Is definitive.
What is this a map of?
The United States of America.
Which is not
North America.
The entire world.
It is not the world. I don't like being called out of this, considering.
It's been a long day. I know you know geography. You're very well traveled and cultured.
I love everywhere else.
Anywho.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go now.
I'm just gonna peace
out. It's only gonna go down from here. Well, hey.
Ain't enough sage for this shit. So, how have you been feeling physically?
Physically?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why do you ask? I feel good. Why?
Yeah.
What are you asking? I mean, if it's about the Muay Thai yesterday, I'm guessing that's the thing that you're asking me about.
So, and our subject.
So what happened was
for today.
So what happened was I went to Muay Thai with you after not going to an actual workout class in a very long time.
Yeah.
I do lots of manual labor. I lift a lot of things.
Probably talking years for you. Huh?
Years.
Yeah, because I'll take my Peloton classes even while we're on the road or traveling, not as frequently as I'd like, but.
And Peloton I don't quite count because it's cycling and I can just cycle all day and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I love to cycle. It's great. Go Peloton.
But someone telling you to do all different types of activities.
And movements and things, in front of other people.
Yeah.
With other people is also a thing.
Yeah, and we were doing this class where you're kind of like following behind each person, kind of like, I don't know, like a train.
So let's talk about psychology instead of me. So what happens is when you look at other people in a room and you're working out and you don't realize their age, you start working out as if you were how you used to work out.
Is that what happened?
Which is pretty significant for me because I used to work out all of the time. So I work out like I'm still 20s.
You used to work out like every lunch.
I used to work out every day.
Yeah.
I'd run 5 to 6 miles a day, plus do a lot of weights, free weights, training for like Spartan races and all that. I'm not that fit any longer. I'm still healthy, but I'm not fit.
Yeah, I'm glad you're still
I will say that.
You're very strong.
I'm very strong. I am deceptively strong. Do not be deceived, or be deceived. It's a good surprise.
So when I was asking, put this out there. When I initially was asking how you're physically feeling, I just meant like, are you sore from yesterday's workout? I wasn't expecting you to.
Sore.
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot to talk about what happened during Muay Thai class yesterday.
So I will overheat when it's not well ventilated, and I also push myself too hard.
It was a little stuffy.
But mostly it is me pushing myself too hard because I do not know the limit. And then all of a sudden I hit said limit and there's like a switch that goes off that says, oh, your body's done. Pass out now. Like you're going to faint out. It is hilarious. I don't know why it's a thing. It's always been a thing, especially when I'm overheating. And that's that. It is usually because I put too much effort into a warm up and doing all the movements that my body's not used to doing for a while.
Yeah.
And you know me, like I push through everything, pain, other thing, my legs off. I'm like, it's a flesh wound. Like
it's a little annoying because as your wife, I'm like, I don't trust you to know and then to tell me like really how injured you are or if you're physically okay.
But on the good side is when I tell you that I'm hurting,
I've learned to believe you.
You then fully believe me.
Yes. I'm like, if he's telling me he's in pain, he is definitively not okay.
Yeah. So that at least there's that going for
Yeah.
me.
So
So anyway, I had to sit down outside for a little bit in the middle. No, not in the middle. At the beginning, right after the warm up of a Muay Thai class.
It's like during the warm up.
It wasn't during the warm up. It was after the warm up. It was directly after the warm up.
Yeah. Well, technically, our trainer said the entire time, he's like, "This is just your warm up."
Yeah, he was joking, but still.
Yeah.
So anyway, I felt okay a little bit after that.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit of a while to like, I needed some water. I needed to cool down, regulate my body temperatures. Otherwise, you get really like hot and tired. And get fuzzy.
Vomit and pass out.
Yeah, vomit and pass out.
Curl up into a little ball.
I typically have not vomited nor passed out. So there's that.
Yes.
I have that going for me.
You do have that self-awareness and an ability to intervene.
Yeah.
To prevent
So there's
to
that.
prevent yourself from vomiting and passing out.
Yeah. So
but I'm glad you came with me.
that's a psychological thing that we will talk about later. I'm going to intellectualize this for my own ego strength. But
so should my question be, how are you emotionally feeling?
No,
today?
I actually feel really good because I mean, really, I love the class. It was a lot of fun. Like the beginning, what I got to challenge myself with. It's also like Muay Thai is great because it challenges all of your aspects of mobility in a different way.
That's one of my favorite activities.
All your flexor muscles, all of your stabilizing muscles, your hip flexors, especially. I forgot how much it works on your hips.
Yeah.
My hips are few. They're not killing me. I wouldn't say they're killing me. I feel really, really loose and a lot better because typically I'm sitting a lot working.
As a man slightly over 40.
Yes.
with my
or a therapist who sits a lot to talk to people.
Yes.
Just in general.
And someone who drives a truck road tripping us in our RV.
Yes, that
across the country multiple times a year.
That too. Long stints of driving.
To be fair.
You
did very well. And you said your body felt really good.
So so fitness after 40. Yeah. That. So it's interesting. It's interesting that it's a challenge that I have done all my life in that way. So maybe that's a male thing. Maybe that's a me thing. I don't know. Like maybe it's an ego thing that drives me to like be too super hard on myself while trying to keep up.
So do you find yourself like comparing to your younger self?
No, I just do it.
You said it's something that you do.
I've always done it, like where I'm like pushing myself to like, that part. What the person is asking me to do, I will try to execute to the full extent that I can until I can't. Quite literally.
And me, I'm like, no, I can't just hop on one foot kicking at the same time, moving across this large ass mat.
I gotta keep on hydrating so I'm not sore.
Good for you with your electrolytes.
It's what plants crave.
So it's tricky because we do want, I mean, exercise. You happy with yourself there?
I am.
We do want exercise to be as like pleasurable as possible. Yeah. And if you were younger and maybe involved in sports or enjoyed a lot of physical activity, worked out a lot, then now in your 40s, you might be reflecting back and wondering like, damn it, like, why can't I just do what I used to do? Shouldn't this just be like riding a bike,
Yeah. I mean, even doing therapy with like things like people like athletes, it's interesting because you're like, you cannot work out like you used to work out. You need to work out entirely different than you used to work out. Even if you really like the routine, your body is requiring a new everything. So let's do a new everything.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about like what it looks like to grieve that aspect of ourselves that changes over time. Because that's an aspect of grief, because it's a change and a change that you did not consent to. It just happened.
Yeah.
You don't consent to aging. You just do it. So
it just happens
happens to you.
Yep. So, that's fair.
Yeah.
And the thing is that people need to realize, and we'll go over some quote unquote motivational, inspirational influencers, and we'll go over their videos and what they're trying to encourage you guys to do.
Everybody has tips and tricks. Everybody with the tips and tricks.
And what they're not considering is like the very real brain and body changes that we're going through as we age, right?
Tips and tricks.
Just do it.
Just do it.
And if you don't want to do it or you
If they
struggle
say
while
you-
doing it, you're a lazy piece of shit.
Or if
You're a
people say you
failure.
can't do this, well, you can. And here's me, a person who does this all day, every day for a living, telling you that that's possible.
That you could be ripped just like
That
me.
everybody is the same when they talk to them on the internet. Just stop. You're a noxious patter, you snake oil salesman.
You tell him, baby.
Yeah.
You tell.
Yeah.
One of our pet peeves. Can you tell?
Everybody is different. Everybody has unique, specific physical things going on in their body. All of us are different. You can try and generally understand. If you understand all the things that make us different, you can then create a program that makes the most sense for you.
So we're going to have all of the real evidence-based best practices out there. Recommendations for you that you can navigate specific for you.
Undoing the damages of the internet, one episode at a time.
And what would you say, misogyny? Where is this even all coming from? Like,
shame, misogyny. Yeah, like, well, it's all about like body image and then like image in general, and like conceptions of perfection.
People always associate body image, issues with women and girls and teens.
No, men are just as skewed. Men have a terrible sense of body and those things there. Now they give up on themselves in a lot of ways, which is why you always hear about all the hygiene issues. But like, because they'll tilt the other way and just be like, well, I don't care, it's just me, and you just, whatever. And you're like, but do you really love yourself? Hence Queer Eye being an amazing show and transformations and things like that from people who actually care about themselves.
Yeah.
So
when we're considering, let's deep dive into this topic of fitness after 40. That really we should adjust it to like fitness after 20s, after 30s, 40s. I mean,
fitness while aging,
basically like every decade. Yeah,
in all
your body is
aging.
changing against what you probably wanted to.
You don't know. Yeah.
And so even when we're talking about, let's start off with like hormonal changes. And for men, you're going to experience a drop in testosterone, which is going to impact your mobility, muscle mass, energy, even motivation.
Well, because a lot of those things are about your concentration and motivation. So a lot of your testosterone motivates like things like challenge or even your kind of adrenaline spiking, if you will, or like positive anxiety. So like if you can't have the same rigid, dedicated, hard, fast schedule that you had before when you're in your 20s, that's also testosterone. That's not just like you being lazy or not having fortitude any longer.
And we're going to take as we always do, a biopsychosocial perspective on this, because yes, you do have the hormonal changes, and you also have, you may have other roles and responsibilities in your life as an adult that is pulling you away from
that take up a lot of space
doing anything that's self-care related.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's societal pressures and culture and
but for women, you also hormonal changes. Yours are way more obnoxious.
So for men, you have andropause, which no one talks about enough.
Andropause.
I'm sorry. That's how little people talk about it.
Yeah, andropause.
Andropause.
Oh, it's because it's your testosterone just drops.
Yeah. And then women, we get perimenopause and menopause.
Yeah.
And so, we also experience the hormonal changes, except for ours would be like a decline in estrogen, right? Which is also going to give us challenges around muscle and energy and motivation just as much. And then we're even to like store fat more, particularly around our abdomen.
Yeah.
Yay.
And then you get hot flashes. You get other things like that with menopause because of the shifts and changes.
And that's like, I don't want to freaking work out and make myself hotter.
Yeah. There's all sorts of, there's a lot.
So once we have the hormonal changes, then we also have your metabolism is changing as well.
Yeah. Your basal metabolic rate. All right, so like when you really want to look at your metabolism, you're going to look at your basal metabolic rate, BMR. Okay. So like, you just don't have like, oh, I'm burning a lot of calories in a day. Like your basic functioning, your basic level of functioning from your on a cellular level requires a basal metabolic rate, a minimum amount of calories burned in a day. Now, if you move around a lot and you do a lot of things, your body's going to burn more stuff in general. Okay. So in general, not just from your working out, just moving, right? So if you have to walk from point A to point B and you have to do that all the time, your body attenuates to a regular cycle or thing. If you do not move at all, then your body is getting used to not moving as much. So it changes your basal metabolic rate. This is not just about how old you are, but this is about how much you're moving and how much your body needs as a base level to actually function. Now, this drops.
So your resting rate declines approximately 1 to 2% per decade starting at 20. And welcome to your 40s.
Yep.
So it's been declining ever since you may have perceived yourself as like your most healthy and fit.
Sure.
And strongest. And it's just been even with all of your best efforts, completely out of your control. That's just been declining. So.
And a lot of times you have to think about this as movement orientation and the way in which you just move through. That's why Fitbits were like really effective for a bit, because they're telling people to just get up and move, or like an iWatch tells you to like get up and stand up and walk around a little bit. Yeah. Like those things are actually really important.
Dude, I'm trying to like work here.
Well, you know? but that's what actually affects your basal metabolic rate. That's why they tell you to do that.
Yeah.
So you'll see why there's technology that intervenes on that specific type of thing.
Yeah.
Get up. You've been sitting a while. Like,
yeah. It's like
that's
stand every hour.
That's your basal.
Sometimes I'm like fastened into a car or plane, and I'm like, all right,
sure,
I'll see what I can do.
But that's what it's saying. It's saying like your body is changing because of the way in which you move.
Yeah.
So,
and because of your hormonal changes, and you're going to have a loss of lean muscle mass.
Well, and you'll notice that I believe, and you can fact check me on this, internet, fact check me, please, people out there.
Particularly experts.
Your phone or your devices that you're using should change how often it tells you to get up and move based on that data, their health data. It may not, cool. But that's what it should do. I know the Fitbit used to adjust that. I don't know. I haven't seen a Fitbit forever. So the Oura Ring, I think, does that too, because it's customized specifically to you.
I wish it like alerted me more and like vibe. I need something like in my face.
You want your ring?
My body, just get up, and then it just like leads me up. It just
like,
leads me up
out of the chair. You're gonna shake hands with people and shock them. It's gonna be great.
Not that.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening because of your hormone changes, people across the board, and then because of your metabolic slowdown, what you were doing in the past, like in your 20s, when maybe you were more active, if you're eating the same foods or if you have the same activity level, whatever that is, that's not going to help you maintain that same body as, you know, what it's like for you in your 40s.
You can't
you can't expect that, like,
even if it was super healthy, think about health as a changing thing that changes every day with who you are, where you're at, how old you are, everything else. So like, what is healthy? There's generally an idea of healthy, but what's specific to you, you're going to want to enhance that over time.
And your muscle mass loss. We
Yeah,
have more good news.
I know you wrote this one down just to get the stat
I want to
right,
get all the numbers.
It's so bad. Just do it. Just rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Okay, now it's not until your 30s. All right, so we're starting a little bit later, but once you hit your 30s and then keep on going, you're losing 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade.
Yeah. That's a lot. All right, so just so you know, that's a lot. That's a lot of your body weight. Which
is going to impact your strength, mobility, and metabolism. So then we got to have this like
it will also affect how you fit into your clothes, because as you lose muscle, it replaces with fat or other things, and then you all of a sudden go from being like boop to boop, and you're like, ooh, I don't like that feeling.
Fun times.
Yeah.
And then of course we have our joints and connective tissue. Where, I mean, if you don't mind me saying, you injured your shoulder?
I've dislocated and separated my shoulder on multiple occasions.
And so you have your normal wear and tear of your body and your joints. And then you have
injuries.
But that was because you're playing sports, right? Or what were you doing?
The first time I was playing sports. The second time I was a counselor with kids and we were messing around, and I did like a somersault over a bunch of people or something, and hit my shoulder.
How old are you?
23. 21, 20, 20.
So
21.
21-year-old Alex made these decisions.
We were doing like a stage dive
And
over
now
bowling, and it was great. We all did it together.
40-something-year-old Alex gets to complain about the pain to his wife.
You know,
Decades
bad
later.
weather's coming. My shoulder hurt. No, I'm just kidding. Does not do that.
How
often do I complain?
I know I asked
right,
you about
fine.
it. Yeah, and that's the thing. If you mention it like once, then I know it's like really bad. And you said that it's constant.
Yeah, that's just constant.
And so
that always hurts.
Whether it's normal wear and tear or you've experienced an injury along the way to reaching your 40s, how does that impact, if any, for you, your motivation, willingness, ability to continue exercising?
As somebody who broke their ankle, right? Like, think of this, like, as you kind of move through the world, you have hurt yourself in various ways, right? Mm-hmm. There's different things that click or clack or whatever else they're going to do. Now, what ends up happening is you start to overcompensate for some of the injury, for some of the other things. Number one, because you're worried about what that looks like to hurt that again, unless you truly rehab it. Number two, you also like try to go lighter on those different areas because those joints don't feel as good. And because you're kind of nervous about those things anyway, so it's less of a strength. So you've relied less on that thing. So like, for example, when's the last time you really kicked something after breaking an ankle?
Yeah, this is my first time back in Muay Thai since I broke my ankle.
Yeah.
And then yesterday when they were having us kind of hop on one foot, kicking, and then my strong leg is my right, so I'm kicking with my right, and then I was expected to just hop on my left foot all the way across this mat, across this gym, and that
you got nervous.
Yeah, I did. I was like, ugh,
which is okay,
slip, and
which is fine. But,
yeah,
but that's
I try, you know, psychologically, as a psychologist, I try not to let the anxiety of it
but that's
put
also
me even more at risk,
because your physiology is literally different from one ankle to the other anyway because of that.
And so if along the way you've experienced some kind of injury as well, those are things to take into consideration as far as how your fitness at 40 and plus is going to be impacted.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways in which, again, we go back to like, we do things like what we do when we felt like we're the most fit. We also then overcompensate for the things in which we have injured or hurt or whatever else. We also don't change the way in which we're working out because of the lack of accounting for the aging. So if you're like doing a bench press with, you know, free weights, that's great. Wonderful. Good for you. If it feels good, great. If you're nervous about it, use a machine, do a chest press on the machine, do the same thing.
Oh, the ego.
But it's usually the ego. And we worry about that dynamic. Yeah. And the thing is, there's always replacements. There's always ways that you can shift around that stuff and feel good about yourself. But we don't do that.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. Like, and if you're not doing things on stabilizing muscles, stabilizer muscles are amazing workouts. Do Pilates, do other things like that do like weird stabilizing muscles. You will be sore, more sore than you've ever been. And
we should have included those videos. We'll repost them on our social media at Wit and Reason.
We will.
These videos of these like big buff, I don't know, football players or something like that, trying Pilates or trying, I love bar as well.
Yep.
Doing these tiny little movements. You're basically doing squats on your tippy toes. And it looks like you look like a ballerina who are incredibly strong, but, you know, frequently overlooked for their strength and what it takes.
Yep.
And so you see these big guys attempting this, and they're just like not able.
But even like, even if it were just to be like doing plank and you do a plank on that squishy ball, right? Instead of like one of those balls, the big ones.
Yeah.
Instead, what that does is every bit of your stabilizing muscles.
I probably should be doing that too because of my wrist start.
Those are really useful. And so you really do have to consider, hey, this is how old I am. This is how I'm going to treat my body. I'm changing it all to do what it looks like to be as fit as I possibly can. Because you could look and be as fit as you were at 25 for a 40-year-old. You just have to realize that for a 40-year-old. So you don't have the same resilience. You don't have the same muscle mass. You don't have the, I mean, you could build on it, but you're not going to have the same things. You don't have the same platform to work with.
It's science.
And it's okay. It's great. It's not just okay. It's great.
Yeah.
Use what you got, but just know what you got. Don't try and hide
work
it.
with that. And then the other piece is our sleep gets more challenged as we get older, which people frequently overlook as well when it comes to physical fitness is how is your sleep?
Who needs sleep?
And then the recovery process, oh my gosh, I would be so proud of myself for getting a good workout in, and then for the next week I'm like the Tin Man, just kind of like stiff and in so much pain. And then I have to work on I had to build in more time for stretching before, after. I have to focus on how well I'm hydrating, how I'm sleeping, the whole recovery process.
And also for you, it's also once you push through that pain, which you're not a camper about, you are not sore any longer. It breaks all of those down and you're usually okay, but you have to get over that hump.
So then I need to get into more active recovery as well. Walking it out.
Active recovery is great. Walk it out. Even if you're walking like a clip clop.
So even if you have like physical fitness goals, you also want to pay attention to your sleep as well.
Yep.
Because your brain just doesn't function as well as it should if you are sleep deprived. And imagine trying to do all of these challenging physical activities, like balancing on your tippy toes or on one foot, or lifting something heavy. It's very technical, and if your mind isn't fully there, you're gonna screw up and you're gonna end up injuring yourself.
Well, and there goes so like everything has to be different. So sleep has to be different. Like you have to embrace who you are at the moment. So like food, make food entirely different. Make sure that you're doing food that actually like really works for you.
So there's a lot of radical acceptance involved.
Yes. Radical acceptance, best DBT skill.
And we'll talk about those in a bit. Let's hear from our influencers about particularly fitness after 40 for men.
Yeah,
I'm imagining that they're just going to be like so loving and compassionate and supportive and like wise and with high EQ.
You could think that.
And like just really psychologically minded.
Oh wait, which one?
Holistically minded.
You're being sarcastic, so I know which one you actually want me to put on first. Okay, hold on a second. Let me do this one first. Then my bad.
Let me see what's on.
I love that layers of sarcasm. My bad.
Let me see what's on the boys' algorithm because that's the way mine is.
This is the boys' algorithm. Ready? All right. So
go to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym. Now.
Because that's all it takes.
Yeah.
So whatever your fitness goals are, the solution, according to this guy,
is go to the fucking gym.
Just go to the fucking gym. Yeah. The gym. Who's it? Is he sponsored by a gym?
I don't know, but he makes me laugh, so I go more credit to him.
The gym will solve all of your problems.
Gross, but it's a lot of spitting. Was that necessary? Appreciate you, but was that necessary?
It caught your attention.
Yeah, it's gross, dude. Yeah, it's fair. All right. So,
and here's the thing: for fitness after 40, the gym might not be your place anymore.
I know.
It might be cycling. It might be outdoor running. It might be, I don't know, sports.
Sure. All right. Here, I like so here, also kind of what it takes, right? I think of this.
Who work out at 5 o'clock. I have a question for all you people who work out at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, who hurt you? I mean, I've been waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning for work at 7 for the past 2 years, and that's fucking hard. You're up there working out at 5, lifting weights and shit. I'm over here sleeping. If I wanted to be working out at 5, I had to be up at 3:30. That means what time do I have to go to bed? Like 8:30? I don't think so.
It's like not worth it. The motivation is just not there.
Yeah. And then,
what do you have to say about like the early risers? And that's the thing about these like alpha male bro influencers, is that like you must wake up at like 4 a.m. and like crush it first thing in the morning.
If you're all alphas, then who's a bit like what? Why are you?
That's a whole other conversation.
Sorry, I'm just.
But the morning routine, if we're talking more like socially or psychologically speaking, if you're not that morning person, or if you have other roles and responsibilities, don't try to fit yourself into this regimen that other people are hyping up, but just does not work for you at this phase in your life.
So I'm talking about phases in life. I really like this one actually. So lots of terrible ones, but this one I really enjoy. So I'm gonna
save
share
the best
something.
for last.
It's actual factual things. Sure, I can do this. I'm able.
If you're in your 40s and you're still working out like you're in your 20s, that's the reason why you're exhausted, tired, and you're not seeing any results. After 40, cortisol spikes faster and stays elevated longer. So doing intense workouts every day only makes matters worse. This is what's gonna work better instead. Focus on strength training 2 to 3 times per week. Doing movements like lunges, squats, deadlifts, rows, presses. Doing this style of training will help you to build muscle, which will speed up your metabolism. And instead of killing yourself on the Stairmaster every day, just walk and move your body more to bring your stress levels down. So if you're getting drained from your workouts, then it's time for you to train smarter instead of strictly trying to work harder.
I like this one.
Love this guy.
Yeah, we'll have him linked in our show page.
Yeah, this is
witandreason.com/GC radio.
Healthy consumption of aging.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about other ways that people can level up.
So partly it's like, I think partly the biggest thing I think of is getting through those ideas, right? And sometimes you can do that in therapy. Sometimes you can do that by working with a personal trainer or finding someone you really respect or really like that does specifically training with people who are aging in some way, shape, or form. Or aging makes it sound like it's over 50 or over 60. You're 40. Go and meet somebody who's around 40 who gets those challenges.
Yeah. Or is trained and works. And understands that there's going to be different challenges, like what we talked about. And different needs and solutions for you and your body. Something also, really customized for you and where you're at.
It also should be things that you love and really love to do, regardless of how good you are at it. Like I love to rock climb. I am not great at rock climbing. I'm okay at it. Not bad.
Better than me. I don't know.
I'm not bad. I'm not awful.
Yeah.
But like I like it. It's a really wonderful 3D puzzle that I'm doing in my head. I love that part.
That makes sense.
It is a lot of physical energy that I like, and has some explosive elements and some other things which just concentration. But it's full body. It's great. Love it.
So you're likely, and then obviously check in with your medical provider to see like what you're able to do.
Yep.
It's likely going to include some strength training, like I think that was a physical trainer.
Yeah,
I think
the
last video.
Personal trainer,
so you're gonna want strength training or resistance training 2 to 4 times a week. You're gonna mix it up. That cardiovascular exercise, you don't like it.
Well, but
it's not my favorite thing to do.
But the thing about cardiovascular stuff is like, yes, you can do like a run or whatever else, but the more you move throughout your day, the better that's going to be. So if you move throughout your day, that will start to adjust your basal metabolic rate, regardless of, cardio is really great, but if you're pushing it constantly, it's not going to do everything.
That's going to help your heart health, your endurance, and your mood. And you don't have to stick to running.
Yeah.
Like what I was doing in my 20s. It could be something like swimming, which I would like to get into more. I'm going to try like more water activities.
You were talking about doing dance too, more dance.
Oh yeah. See, there you go. We're going to take a dance class together.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Right?
Yeah.
And then like we talked about earlier, you are going to want to focus in more on, I'm going to repeat that for my recording.
The apple gods came. I don't know.
Cut and back.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned earlier, you are going to want to focus on your mobility, balance, and flexibility as well.
Yes.
Men, women, they, thems, every human, every aging human is going to need this in their life.
Yeah, because you want your ligaments to work. You want your tendons to work. You want them to stay all right. You need to work on those specifically.
And then since we're talking about aging, this is also going to help reduce any kind of like, in the future, like fall risks and injuries.
Gait issues. Yeah.
And then making sure that you can support yourself and balance.
Yep.
nutritional support you're going to want to look into for yourself, for your own body and needs.
Just,
as well.
I mean, finding some, like, there are other apps and other things out there that are really great. Aura has some great stuff on there for apps that are really useful for an app that is useful in talking about some of those things and health related issues. So Aura, wonderful place to go and do those things. But the other thing to think of is, like, if you just go to your doctor and talk to a nutritionist, if you have the ability to do that, great. Otherwise, there are some other apps out there that are pretty great for walking through that cognitive behavioral therapy-esque version of those things.
So for the health psychology aspect of it, the psychologists are trained to help people.
Yeah. Yes.
It's all about not only like how you're thinking, but also behavioral change. Like we mental health experts are
I mean, so social worker, I mean,
focused in that area.
Social workers less so.
Yeah.
I gotta be straightforward. Like, I did this stuff because I worked in hospitals. I worked with people who were doing bariatric surgery.
Yeah.
I worked with all sorts of basic aspects of fitness, rehabilitation, chronic pain. I've done a lot of medical stuff.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why I know those things.
Yeah.
And because I'm trained for it.
And psychologists too. We have a general understanding, and then we have specialties within health psychology.
Yeah, you do more anyway.
Medical issues, psychological impact, vice versa. And we even have sports psychology too, right? So meeting with some kind of mental health professional can help you along the way, especially if you're struggling with that radical acceptance we talked about, making those changes for yourself.
Yep.
Hurt ego along the way, the grieving process, like you talked about, and working through all of those aspects of it. Now, when we're talking about your hormone changes and metabolism, I meet with an endocrinologist and have been for other health medical issues. But if you want to check in with your hormones, getting a referral from, obviously, all things start with your primary care, and then you could get your referral to your endocrinologist, check in with your hormones, see what's going on there. And then for your nutrition and weight management, your registered dietitian.
Yep, already,
yeah, would be helpful. Different from a nutritionist.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. My fault. Dietitian, nutritionist, different people.
There's also obesity medicine specialist as well. So check in. I mean, if you're privileged enough to have insurance, get the most out of it that you can,
make 'em work for
and build up your support team. Start now. Might as well, especially as you continue to age, you're going to continue needing more support along the way. So
don't just look for somebody who has a great patter or great other things out there when
have
it comes to patter, like communication, like just going, hey, do tips and tricks.
I say don't just focus on
the tips and tricks
with good branding.
Notice it whether or not they're talking to you, if they're making a lot of generalized statements in and around all people, all men, all women. Walk away or jog or light run, but walk away.
Stroll, skip.
If they're talking, so great example is the one we showed. If they're talking like he's talking regarding aging and regarding the way in which you should treat your body, that's who you want.
Those considerations. And then speaking of building up your support team, if you need physical therapy, bring them on board for any kind of recovery or even some kind of concerns.
There are even gyms that specialize in that stuff. So it's after a certain age.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There was a lot when we were traveling down in Florida.
Yes.
The PT and the orthopedist.
Florida is
we're all over around the gyms.
As you were navigating a broken ankle, that was much easier.
Yes, that was very helpful. Yeah. And then if you want to consider looking into a chiropractor, have you worked with a chiropractor?
No, I have not.
I had to.
Although I know people who swear by them. Yeah, I know people who really like them.
Yeah, I didn't really like it.
Okay. Hey, to each their own.
And I hear people complain about the regulations, but some people really love them. So go fill this out for yourself. See what feels right for you. Do your own research. And then take care of yourself.
Trusted professionals.
Yeah.
Do your own research always makes me cringe now. But,
I know.
I know, right?
Talk to your doctors. By do your own research, I don't mean Reddit or Twitter.
Yes.
Formerly known as Twitter. But yes, check in with the experts and get you and your body are worth this curated plan.
Yeah.
And so
create a specific plan for you.
yes, and build up your team as needed. And as Alex mentioned earlier, in support of the mental, emotional
do that. Do that. Give that a shot. That one's really great. Or a health app. You can also go to, well, check it out.
Yeah.
Use our guest pass. Go check it out.
We have a guest pass for you. I have I provide aura lessons on there about relationships, emotions, psychology. There's even a lot of assistance with sleep. You have sleep meditation. I haven't done any sleep stories yet.
Any aging ones.
I should.
Yeah.
I'll do more. Right. Yeah. I mean, the stuff that I've been providing are, helpful for everyone.
I know. I'm not saying they're not, but I was like specific to age. There is stuff specific to that and fitness there.
So take a look at that, especially if something you're struggling with is the emotional aspect, the grieving part, the building confidence.
Yep.
And then if you're working on your sleep as well, or stress reduction, I got you.
Yes.
So go ahead and check out the Aura Health app as well. And we don't actually have a topic for next week. What do you want to talk about? I'll check the chats. Anything in particular? I have something in mind.
I don't know.
We mentioned it kind of earlier today.
What?
And I don't know exactly what the agenda will be.
What?
But like what's been on my mind for a long time.
Very nervous.
Is this whole like alpha male stuff.
Oh.
Stuff. And how for some reason
that still goes back to toxic masculinity. See previous work on toxic masculinity.
For some reason, people's like standard is like what the like animals are doing. Is that the standard we're holding ourselves up to?
I'm a lone wolf. Not all of you are lone wolves. Stop it. You're not all wolves. You're not all tigers. You're a sheep, or you're like a llama, or you're like a duck, or maybe you're a platypus. Like, just shut up. You're a gazelle, or a zebra, just a deer. There's more deer than there are like.
So I was thinking about like going into that subject matter. Sorry. Or another thing that's been on my mind a lot lately are cults.
Ooh. I love both those topics.
Yeah.
One more to make fun of than the other. I don't make fun of cults.
This is a safe space, okay? So even if you're struggling with alpha stuff,
you could talk about alpha maleism as a cult.
I want to like look into like the people who seek out
the cult of alpha maleism. We can blend
them. I was wondering like people who seek out alpha, I don't know, tips, and self-confidence, low confidence, or self-worth, or
there's a lot of different things, scales that you could go through there that are going to be very, very dangerous.
Anxiety, fear.
Yep, they're going to be pretty bad if you look at all those. It's going to be.
Has anyone done that research?
Yes, there's been some research on that.
So maybe we'll start with the alpha male stuff.
People that join cults, so we could talk about cults,
and then we could, maybe we'll sell. Well, there's a lot to talk about with cults. We will let you know. So stay posted.
Either way,
on our social media. You can
alpha maleisms, cults, alpha male. One of the two.
You can vote. One if you want us to do a deep dive in either one of them, or touch up on both.
No, don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. All right, great. Fine.
So we got you.
All
right. Either way, same place, same time, every Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Eastern.
Take it away, Alex.
6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here on YouTube. You can always follow us on anywhere you get podcasts after we do get those out in the world. Also on DC Radio at 93.9.
Oh my God, you're doing so good. You're just making up numbers.
My number. I'm sorry, DC Radio. My brain turned off.
You're a brand new co-host. You're not allowed to make this types of mistakes.
Yeah. Well, sorry. My bad. What was that? My brain just kind of ran away with it.
Okay. See you next week.
Bye.